Ladies and gentlemen, we have an amazing one for you guys today. I gotta give a big shout out here to Prime Pete because he has found that Call of Duty has infiltrated your computer. I mean, this is unbelievable.
About Call of Duty
let's
that
get
has
into
never
this.
been shared before.
Let's get
and
into
it's
this.
bad.
Yeah,
Just
this
a
is
warning,
pretty bad.
This is actually bad.
Yeah.
So just a disclaimer, brace yourself for what's coming. All
Okay,
credit right
let's hear
now
it.
goes to Branch Off Bush, who I'll link in the description. He's much more
It's crazy because so many of these people just do not get the recognition that they deserve. So shout out my man Bush,
knowledgeable than I am about computers, game development, and coding, and his explanation is incredibly in-depth and precise. However, it's a little difficult to understand for an everyday average gamer, so I'm going to simplify and relay this information to you in a way where it's widely accessible. Branch Off Bush has been trying to get the attention of the mainstream Call of Duty community for a while, but it was clear we weren't ready to hear the information yet. This tweet...
And this is also why I am trying to make this video. I, throughout all of Black Ops 3's life cycle, even way after, have been talking about the issues and the security issues on this game. And now there are files that literally access your computer's webcam. Like, that is ridiculous.
Shows him tagging a bunch of larger creators in the Call of Duty community, telling them that he helped a government agency expose the fact that Activision executes software that has unrestricted access to your computer's camera. But it's a lot more than just that. This is going to expose a lot of what Activision is doing behind the scenes, not just with manipulating the game, but also with your computer or console as well.
I've always said, like, if you're a billionaire and you want to make a ton of money, just sue Activision. You will find some sort of way to make a ton of money out of that, because there's definitely been more breaches than just this, even on the past games. Like, they're basically selling unplayable games, you know?
Well, I'm going to teach some complex computer things here in a short time, so pay attention and get ready to get rocked. We've never outed anything like this before. The first thing I need to explain is something called a DLL file. DLL stands for Dynamic Link Library, and it is, put very simply, a file that runs in the background of your computer that contains code that multiple programs can access at the same time. For example, if a program needs to access your camera, like Zoom or Skype, instead of the developers needing to write code within that software to control your camera, they can instead tell the software to access a DLL file that is already on your computer to access the video feed of your camera. It's basically a shortcut for developers. Instead of recoding functions that your computer can already do, they just tell the software to access a toolbox of code that is already capable of doing that. In the simplest terms possible, why build a hammer from scratch with your own resources when you can just reach into your toolbox and pull one out? This being said, Branch Off Bush, when helping this government agency find out what Activision was up to behind the scenes, used software that detects what DLL files a certain program was accessing while it was running. First, he tested this software on Black Ops 1 while playing combat training. He found that it accessed only a single suspicious DLL file called ntdll.dll. Now, bear with me here. Black Ops 1 was designed to run on both 32 and 64-bit systems, or newer and older systems at the same time. But since Black Ops 1 was also compatible with Windows XP, an older operating system, the game was accessing this DLL file in order to utilize the resources necessary to translate the game over to a 64-bit system from a 32-bit origin. Put simply, Call of Duty was accessing this DLL file present in Windows in order to make an older game compatible on a newer system.
Yeah, so this makes sense. I mean, the older Call of Duty games really, I doubt, have many security problems outside of the hacking and the RCE exploits, which for games like Black Ops 3, which is the most sold Call of Duty of all time now, by the way, hasn't even fixed fully. Like, it's crazy that the most sold Call of Duty, you still have to run a patch on PC to play. Like, that is horrendously bad. That is just unbelievably unacceptable. And sure, Treyarch did their patch back in 2023, but that really didn't change anything. You still need to run the T7 patch.
So it is not suspicious activity.
Yeah,
the game simply requires code that Windows already
Shout out Black Ops,
so that the devs didn't need to code their own translation software. Rather, they pulled from the DLL toolbox that already existed on Windows.
So you're really gonna start seeing this, in my opinion, on the modern games.
That was a total mouthful, but it sets up the absolute bombshell that I'm about to drop next. When using the same software that detects what DLL files a certain program is potentially utilizing maliciously, but this time on Modern Warfare 3 2023, the software found something that would shock you. The first list of utilized DLLs when Black Ops 1 was investigated was this big. Only 6 DLL files were utilized by Black Ops 1, and none were suspicious or malicious. When the software was run on Modern Warfare 3 2023, the list was this big.
Oh my gosh.
Holy
wow.
smokes. for context, and not just because Black Ops 6 is more modern, bro.
Well, see, that's the other thing. Do you guys remember it started, I believe, in Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, where as soon as you go into multiplayer, they actually make you accept an EULA before you even get into the multiplayer menu now. Like, you have to accept this massive terms and service. This was in every Call of Duty, but it's never been this up front. It's never been this aggressive. And so I am not surprised. They're probably getting into all your software, man. Like, this is the issue with these games, bro.
XDefiant uses, you guessed it, 0 DLLs when it was tested with the same software. The game accesses a lot of your computer's functionality. But hold on. There's one in particular that stands out from the rest. While I will grant that a lot of these files are innocent, this one right here is cause for great alarm.
Yeah, NV camera, by the way. They can literally go into your webcam. So that's why I'm saying, like, if you're playing Call of Duty on, like, a gaming laptop, I just play with this webcam turned off. I can literally just turn off the power switch, which is amazing, but it's frightening if you have that thing on all the time.
NVCamera64.dll.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Now
we're getting
freaky.
somewhere. Call of Duty is using files in your computer that are designed to access your camera's video feed, even when you don't have a webcam active. Call of Duty, immediately on startup, has direct access to your camera, despite the game and anti-cheat not at all requiring camera access.
Now, I think they might have done this because there were some new hacks in the past where they literally utilized your webcam. Like, it was some sort of AI detection with your webcam for the game. Maybe that's why, but ultimately, is that an excuse to do it on every single person's copy of the game? No.
Not a single function within Call of Duty requires such a thing to be active. So why is it active? Well, look no further than this Activision-owned and created patent. Methods and systems to modify a two-dimensional facial image to increase dimensional depth and generate a facial image that appears three-dimensional. Why on God's green earth does this patent need to exist? The scariest part is that this image included in the patent's resources displays a player's face overlaid over their gameplay. The footnote that describes this image reads as the following. In embodiments, the expressions/reactions of movements of image 1504, which is this image right here, reflect the user's expressions/reactions and movements in real time.
Dude, not only do they want to take away the voice chat, they literally want to monitor you as you play the game. And here's the other thing. Like, obviously, this is probably mainly for multiplayer, but what's stopping them from doing this just for zombies? And it's like, for zombies, you don't play with anybody. Why would they need that type of information, you know? Or even campaign, you know?
This software is capable of using your camera to read and analyze your reactions and emotions.
Horrific.
And the game is also confirmed to be accessing your camera as soon as the game starts up.
Wow.
But then we have to ask, why is Call of Duty getting access to your camera the moment the game boots up? It's not to design a 3D model of your face for graphic design purposes, or maybe it is, I don't know. But what other things has Activision created or perhaps patented that would need camera access in order to get the most benefit out of it? Well, we return once again to one of our favorite patents. System and method for driving microtransactions in multiplayer video games. And here is where I drop the bombshell. We can see...
Dude, Fortnite got sued for so much money because they were doing practices like this. This could borderline take down the company if this went big, bro. They are they're literally manipulating your expressions to get things in the microtransaction shop. What is this, bro? How predatory is this? It really also makes you wonder why certain Call of Duty devs decided to leave before this modern system was introduced. Just food for thought, man.
Right here in this patent that Activision has designed a system that does a few things by reading the emotional state of a player using visuals. Firstly, in this section right here, it reads, examples of quality factors include, without limitation, a player quitting a match or gameplay session while other players are still playing, indicating satisfaction, blah, 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 until we get right here. A player engagement factor, e.g., a speed of player input, a level of focus as determined from camera peripherals, etc., where greater engagement may indicate greater satisfaction.
This is why I personally do not like also the utilization of AI, because now with Black Ops 6 and the whole AI situation, you now have AI also taking this information. And I've heard it from a lot of artists where it's like AI was not allowed. They took all this amazing stuff from artists and now they're learning to do better. And we are about to enter a world where AI is going to become sentient and also more creative than human beings eventually. And if you don't believe me, just wait. It's only a matter of time. And like, this is the type of stuff that is Horrifying. This is what they were making movies about 30 years ago, bro.
So in this pattern, a camera is used to analyze the emotional state of a player. Another section reads, the quality factors may include, for example, a duration of a gameplay session, e.g. via analysis of player historical data, player psychological state, e.g. frustration level, and or other information. So Activision has created methods and systems that read player emotions in order to drive microtransactions and rig the matchmaking.
That is the most horrifying information I've ever heard in my life. I'm sorry. Like, there is no reason why a video game should be monitoring the player, period. Like, not at all. Unless you're a content creator and you want to be made public. Like, half these people don't even know what's happening to them, man, and they're just being taken as a part of data. That is so bad.
And the best part,
that
the
has
pattern
to go
that
against
creates
privacy
3D
laws.
facial images out of 2D images is cited within the microtransaction patent, and they have it.
2018, bro. They had this back in 2016, bro. This was back in Black Ops 3. Man, oh my gosh. So it really makes you wonder, what was the game they started implementing this? Because in 2018, that game was Black Ops 4.
AI that listens to your microphone in game chat, so the game has unrestricted camera access, can see your face and hear your voice without you giving them permission to see your face or hear your voice outside of voice chat. Unless somewhere in the terms of service there is a loophole that we sign up to, which I wouldn't be too surprised about, this is really bad. So Call of Duty has camera access as soon as the game starts up, and Activision has patents that suggest that a camera can be used in-game to measure your engagement levels and do whatever else it wants to do.
Well, and so here's the other thing. Like, who's saying that they haven't recorded footage? And it's like, bro, they probably found some wild footage of some people. They're not focusing on facial expressions and aggression levels. Bro, it even says pulse. They're gonna get your pulse, dog. What? Bro, how can they see your pulse just from a video? Sweat. Bro, they want to know every single information about every single detail. Like, if you feel like this invades your privacy, I don't know what to tell you, because this is the truth. Biometric, they want all of your information.
Remember, when Branch Off Bush did this text with XDefiant, no DLL files were pulled at all, meaning the game wasn't using anything on the system to run the game.
And also, I have heard that XDefiant also probably went down because of what Call of Duty's done with their marketing and Activision. This is a mess, man. We are living in a dystopia.
And the game was executing all of its own unique code. That's quite interesting. XDefiant, a game without manipulative matchmaking and a transparent dev team, doesn't use any DLL processes, not one.
So who's also to say the more angry you are, maybe they will literally put you in easier lobbies just by detecting what they see on your face. That is insane.
Nor does it do any other kind of engagement measurement. But then we get to Call of Duty, where we can feel something is quite off about the game, and we suddenly discover the game has unrestricted camera feed access, as well as patents about reading player emotions for engagement. That cites a patent that uses a camera to model a 3D face out of a 2D image. I wonder what they could be trying to do.
Dude, and that's the other thing. They're literally trying to recreate your body in a 3D way. For what? What is the purpose of this? Bro, this freaks me out, man. What the heck?
But this next patent seals the deal. May I present to you methods and systems for continuing to execute a simulation after processing resources go offline. Already the name of this patent is incredibly off-putting, but then you read into what it's capable of doing, and you start to really question what's going on. Get ready for this one. A system and method is provided that simulates gameplay of non-player characters, NPCs, distributed across networked end-user devices. The system may identify end-user devices that are connected to the system through a network and are available to participate in a simulation in which each participating end-user device is provided with one or more NPCs to be executed. An end-user device may be available to participate when it has sufficient computing capacity, such as when in an idle or standby state. As such, the system may leverage spare computing capacity of networked end-user devices to execute NPCs at networked end-user devices during a simulation. In this manner, the behavior of an NPC may be tested using real-world connections that may affect gameplay, such as network connection quality, user-to-user game engine coordination and data exchanges, and or other real-world conditions associated with networked end-user devices. That's wicked complex, but this is essentially what is called a botnet, which is a computer virus, which is a felony. For those of you
Oh my gosh.
Who don't
like
know,
what?
Botnets are a network of computers that have been artificially connected by malware or a virus. Within a botnet, the combined computing power of every computer is used to more efficiently perform fraudulent activity, such as generate more spam emails, DDoS a website, steal data, mine cryptocurrency, or spread malware to link even more systems into the botnet.
Dude, I'm floored. What?
Put simply, a botnet is a virus that links multiple computers together and uses their combined computing power to more efficiently perform whatever tasks the controller wants them to do.
So basically, in a way, because you're playing Call of Duty, Activision is like selling your computer's hardware processing for its own selfish, beneficial reasons. That is malicious, horrifying, and honestly, we're going to have to see what comes out of this, because I've already said this before with a lot of the other products that Call of Duty has released. They are seemingly above the law.
It's hijacking computers as zombie batteries for a shady operation.
Oh my
that being said, this
gosh.
patent looks like they simply patented a botnet, which again is an illegal virus that hijacks your computer's processing power.
Wow.
Because it's networking computers that have Call of Duty together in order to run simulations, theoretically. If we reference another patent, it essentially describes how Network is creating methods to make AI NPC players that are indistinguishable from real human beings. This is another favorite patent of mine.
Yeah, so that's basically the cover-up. You know, they're like, oh yeah, we just want to make bots like Fortnite that are just exactly like regular human beings. Dog, no. They are going way too deep. And this is what I mean. Like, as a YouTuber, I've accepted that basically I will have no privacy for the rest of my life. But for someone that values privacy, how can you even play Call of Duty after this information has been public? This is insane.
This is incredibly useful to them because
My
in order
gosh.
to toss engaging matches, they now don't have to rely on finding the right human being for the job. They can simply put you into a match that is perfectly tailored for your engagement, and you have no idea it's actually a simulation with no real human beings.
So they can literally see if you're angry, put them in the next match with just AI, and then because they do so well, that then increases them to buy microtransactions out of the store. Call of Duty, that is egregious, man. How can you even feel good about yourselves knowing that you do this? This is insane.
Having recently apparently proved that AI bots are now in COD, you can see where I'm going with this. And just recently, we've discovered that on Steam, the game doesn't close properly. It has processes that stay open once you quit. You think something might be going on here?
Well, and see, this is the thing. At least on console, there's probably not a lot of data that they can take. But for PC, bro, and I play Call of Duty on PC, bro. This is cooked, bro.
These two patents together, executing a simulation when resources go offline to train NPCs in real-world conditions, and creating NPCs that are indistinguishable from human beings, we can start to assemble the puzzle pieces. And it's not pretty. They're using your computer, yes, yours, to train NPC AI players on the side while you're not even in the game, i.e., while your processing resources go offline. And the same can be probably said for consoles as well. It's using your computer's processing power and resources in the background in order to train AI bots that play Call of Duty, and you're connected to other players' PCs as well through the network they've created.
So it's not enough that they want your money, that they want your microtransactions. Now they even want the hardware of what you play to benefit not only their game, but it's like he said, to also maybe even grab whatever private information you have or money or whatever you could have. They will take access of it. That is horrifying, bro. And this is what I mean. We are just at like the cusp of AI really being integrated. Like, I believe in 20 years, we're going to just see robots everywhere and it's just going to be super dystopian. But my goodness, this is horrific. This is like Activision should really be facing some legalities for this, man.
At least that's what the patent details. It networks a bunch of computers that have COD installed together, then uses that processing power to run simulations with these NPC bots so that they can learn how to appear more indistinguishable from human beings. They're using the processing power of your computer and your console without you knowing to train their own NPC bots to further perpetuate the manipulative nature of the game and turn it even more into the Matrix. And I'll throw in one more thing for you. What if this AI player your PC is being used to train is almost an exact one-to-one copy of how you play? Here's a detail other creators have missed. Having access to the NVCamera64.dll doesn't only mean your webcam. It means it has access to the contents of your screen. So that means when you're playing, some kind of software within Call of Duty is requesting to have access to the actual video feed of your monitor. Does that mean that it's gathering gameplay data from your perspective in order to train an AI version of you?
Well, and who knows what else it's grabbing? You know, like it's sure it's just under the guise of, oh, it's just getting Call of Duty data. But it's like, is it really though? If it can see your whole screen even after you close the game, man?
It's not out of the question considering what Activision has patented and what Activision is shown to do by accessing your video feed. There's no way to 1000% prove this just yet, but the fact they've patented a botnet, which is a system that is literally a felony, goes to show that they maybe aren't the most ethical company in the world.
Well, I mean, we've known this for quite some time, and also, like I said, a lot of COD devs have basically left Activision and even Activision Blizzard because of these type of things, but it's just, how long will this go on? Especially because you can definitely see Call of Duty is declining with all of the AI integration, even just with art now. And so it goes to show, like, does this game really have the legs to stand throughout time if this is what's going to be in the game? Like, man, you see Fortnite out here making a whole metaverse kind of like Roblox for their own game. What is Call of Duty doing? They're just going into your stuff, man.
However, seeing as we have proved that Call of Duty gets access to your camera, even when there isn't one connected, which suggests that it's actually watching your screen and your gameplay, and there's no other reason to access the camera unless we relay it back to the patents that state that it has access to your camera, reads your emotions, and manipulates matchmaking and gameplay for the sake of making as much money as possible, we get a case that is incredibly suspicious. And the only counter-argument is one of pure cognitive dissonance. This is bad. And it's undeniable. Call of Duty doesn't need access to your camera for the gameplay to function properly. But for some...
I mean, X-Defined, this game is a perfect explanation of this. Like, you saw a lot of Call of Duty devs quit from the original studios and made this game. No DLL files were used in making this game. It's just, it doesn't have the pull that Activision has. And because of that, Activision has squandered this game's potential. I remember I thought even Call of Duty Zombies could have been introduced on this game, but it just never picked up enough steam. And so this is what I'm worried about with the future of this franchise.
For some reason, it's accessing your camera anyways as soon as the game boots up. And it's literally been proven that it does. And that should terrify you. Along with the botnet patent, we should be very scared of what's coming next. This game can read our...
Yeah, this is the thing. Everybody's going to be like right now, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Oh, it's not that big of a deal. I always see it in the comments when I make a video about AI. Just wait until it's a big of a deal. Just wait. It's going to happen.
Facial expressions and potentially using our computer's computing resources to train AI NPCs that they're going to toss into the matchmaking to make the game the most manipulative, dopamine drip-feeding Matrix simulator we've ever experienced in gaming. And all the naysayers are just going to let it happen because it sounds too much like a conspiracy. You'll be thanking people like Branch Off Bush and me and Blame Truth years from now if Activision gets outed for doing these things and they shut it down. But that's all I got for now.
I just think as well, like, why are they making patents? It's because they are trying to be above the law. Ladies and gentlemen, this was an amazing video. Go and check out Prime Pete. I'm liking and subbing because this is potentially one of the most horrifying pieces of information from Call of Duty ever.